Welcome back to Chapter 26 of Defender of Dirt. Mom was right about the neighborhood gossip. By the time the ice cream social rolled around, Hawthorne Hill was buzzing with rumors and bad feelings. In fact, Mr. Franklin seemed to be using the event to stir up more. The Patel family was hosting it in their front yard. They live up on the same part of the block with the Franklins, near the Lawhorns, Sydney's aunt and uncle. We'd been wondering why Sydney's family had ever moved here from their fancy development. Turns out, Mrs. Franklin's sister has a house on the street. I guess they wanted to be nearby. Between the two families, they'd been working hard to turn people against Bill and the gardens. Now Mr. Franklin was slipping up to people, talking in a low voice, waving his hands around, and then shoving a pen and a clipboard at them. "Just look at him," Sam snarled. "He's wrecking the party." "I wish we could make him go away," Molly said, as she chewed on a strand of hair that had fallen out of her ponytail. May's lower lip was starting to tremble. Mr. Franklin stood in the Patel's driveway, near the house, scouting out his next victim. Sydney dragged Tessa over to him, and they all seemed to be arguing about something. Tessa started stomping her feet and kicking at some gnarly vines that grew up the side of the house. Sydney noticed me looking her way, and she actually stuck her tongue out at me. When I glanced over at May, she was cocking her head at the sound of some rapid, scolding cheeps coming from the vines. Suddenly, we heard a flutter of wings. Then a flurry of tiny brown birds whooshed out of the vines, still scolding. They sprayed a shower of, well, guess what, as they flew right over Mr. Franklin, Sydney, and Tessa. May popped her hand over her mouth quickly while Sam doubled over with laughter, muttering, "Perfect! Perfect!" Meanwhile, Mr. Franklin had dropped his clipboard and started stomping his feet. Sydney was yelling, "Ew! Yuck! Get it off!" And Tessa was ducking with her hands over her eyes, expecting to be bombed again. Mr. Franklin pulled out a handkerchief and dabbed at their heads frantically. "Filthy, disgusting, abominable birds," he spat, while he wiped, stomped, and dabbed. "Girls, go straight home to the shower," he ordered. "Mrs. Patel told me they had a family of house wrens nesting in that vine," Molly exclaimed. "But that's the first I've seen of them." "I think I'm ready to enjoy some ice cream now," May said, giggling. "Let's just call this episode Revenge of the Vermin," Sam cracked.